Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Nino Kuni. Let's continue. So, there's a whole save spot here and turning your characters, which at a certain point, dropping off familiars probably isn't a bad idea. Like, I probably should, every time I see one of these, drop off all three familiars because that might increase the chances of us capturing more characters. But almost certainly what's going to happen here is I'm going to cast Spring Lock, and then it's going to cause a boss fight to happen between this frog human that is behind bars. If that doesn't happen, then I just assume something else is going to attack us. The frog told us uh, to run away and leave him alone. And these kids, which, for lack of a better description, I guess all these characters are just kids, didn't listen at all. What are you doing? Leave me alone, I beseech you. Wait a minute, are you the frog prince? Uh, are we supposed to know a frog prince? I mean, there's an old fairy tale called The Frog Prince, I think, but that's about it. It's not like the other stories in this game have been direct comparisons to old, like, European um, f- story tales, like the Little Red Riding Hood and things like that, Hansel and Gretel, things like that. Although this game definitely has had the feel of a lot of those stories. You know who I am? But how? The Frog Prince of the Desert. That's you, isn't it? The one who left his kingdom, abandoned his princess? How do you... What are you going on about, Esther? Are you trying to confuse us or something? Says Swain. So Swain has never heard about this either. Humph. It wouldn't take much to confuse the likes of you, Swain. I'm just a bit shocked, alright? I don't think we were going to bump into a prince from a fairy tale, did I? A fairy tale? Which is kind of funny to have things called fairy tales when there's actual fairies in the game. I see. So that's how you know of me. Now let me think. Ah, yes, I remember. Alright, listen carefully. Here we have some Ghibli animation again. It's been a real long time. Once upon a time before the floods. Oops, gotta read fast. In the kingdom lived a handsome and courageous young prince who loved all of his subjects. Then one day the kingdom was attacked by a monstrous serpent beast, so hideous it struck fear into all who saw it, a terrible evil creature. The prince decided, in order to defeat the serpent, that he would drink a certain mysterious potion. No sooner had he swallowed the diabolical draught than he began to turn into a frog. What? Finally, it gives you a breath, but why even break with tradition? Why was these previous lines of dialogue not paused like every other line of dialogue in the game? That seems incredibly inconsistent and stupid to all of a sudden make the player have to read fairly fast there. Like, yes, I know I'm reading out loud, but if you were a kid, if you're struggling with words like drought, uh, which is kind of a big word that's not used very often, you just aren't being given enough time. Why would he drink a potion that would turn him into a frog? A frog doesn't stand a chance of beating a snake. I haven't finished the story yet. I told you to listen carefully, didn't I? Not ask stupid questions. Again, if Esther was voice acted, she would have a lot more personality instead of just animations of her stamping her feet and swinging her arms in frustration. Um, Now, where was I? Ah, yes, the reason he decided to turn into a frog was to lull the serpent into a false sense of security by becoming one of its favorite foodstuffs, if I recall correctly. Ahem, yes. My apologies. Please continue. And so the prince turned himself into a frog, for he had a plan. He knew the serpent would not be able to resist eating him, and that would allow him. Whatever, the plan worked, and the serpent swallowed the prince and received a mortal blow from inside. But alas, the prince could not return to his original form. No matter what he tried, he remained an ugly frog. This caused him great distress. He could not stop thinking about how foolish he had been, so he vowed to hide himself away from the world. Now the prince was married to a beautiful, though he promised her he would try to be together forever and ever. She had not seen him since he left to face the serpent. It began he would never return. Despairing, the princess went into a tomb with a prince. Then she remained waiting for her prince, though she knew he would never come, waiting until the end of her days. So the rainbow frog potentially is the princess, would be my guess. That was just awful, though. That dialogue is moving so fast, I couldn't even read it. Like, not even like subconsciously. And I'm kind of a fast reader. I would verge on being called even a speed reader, although most speed reading is actually pretty bad for retention of what you actually read. Um, but that text just went insanely fast. I wasn't even getting to the second sentences. Um, so I really don't 100% know the story and don't feel satisfied with that presentation. If you are going to call that flat 2D animation styles the Studio Ghibli animation and assume that Studio Ghibli animated that, you can also see how Studio Ghibli at this point is barely doing any animation at all, and they're scraping the bottom of the barrel compared to even what was previously in this game. But yeah, definitely not a kids game. You can't do this in a kids game where you don't pause between sentences. You can't do it even in an adult game. It's so offensive and just stupid. She waited, you say. I see that it truly has become a fairy tale. Gee, that's a pretty sad story. Every girl in Alma Moon is told the story when they're young, and everyone cries the first time they hear it. You speak of it as if it were a work of fiction. Oh, I'm sorry, Prince Ali. Prince Ali, it has been a very long time since anyone has called me by my name. Well, then, shall I tell you the final chapter of your fairy tale? The final chapter? So the prince left his princess behind and turned his back on his kingdom. The princess' name was Yasmina, by the way. She was the love of the prince's life, and yet he abandoned her. Many years passed, and the prince remained a frog, only to find, to his dismay, he was unable to die. Yes, he was destined to live forever as a frog, um, even after his kingdom had been razed to the ground. That's just terrible. Ah, I may have suffered, but it's nothing compared to the pain I caused my beloved Yasminda. Indeed, I feel sometimes that this is just punishment. But why are you in this cell, your highness? It is the serpent, Apep. Apep? Let's just go with Apep. He has returned. Someone brought him back to life. I don't think there are many people who could breathe new life into an ancient monster. Yeah, I can only think of one. You mean Shadar? Apep wasted no time in taking his revenge, and that's how I came to be imprisoned here. Who can say how long he intends to prolong my agony? Have I not suffered enough to remain in this form to live without my beloved? Now look at this animation cycle here. That either this is a glitch, which I don't think it is, or they've just done an incredibly terrible animation loop that moves too fast, is not very smooth, and it's just very herky jerky. I can't imagine that this is how it was supposed to actually look. Um, Oliver, isn't there a spell you can cast to bring Prince Ali back to normal? You mean something that will lift a curse that turned him into frog? Hang a flipping minute, man. Why don't we use that magic circle that lifted our froggy curse? You're right. It worked for us. Maybe it'll work for him. But surely you did not consume the shape-shifting potion that I did. Well, it wasn't a potion, no. But that's not important, right? Come on, your highness. Let's give the magic circle a try. Could such magic truly reside in this temple? And what if I were to become human again? What new torments APEP would APEP devise for me then? You mustn't think of things like that, Your Highness. We have to try at least. Now, come with us. We'll take you straight to the magic circle. So his castle is not Al Mamoon, or if it is, the Al Mamoon that we've seen was razed to the ground. The frog is missing. Looks to me like there's some ruins on the wall by here. We'll get a look at them later, I guess. Let's see if we can spring the lock. Nope. It would be silly if this worked. But also, I kind of don't care if it does. Prince Ali, this is the magic circle that lifted our curse, a magic circle. Could such a thing really have the same effect on me? Well, there's only one way to find out. Yes, you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if he steps on it and he turns into just a regular frog. What? I don't understand. He's standing in the magic circle just like he did, but nothing happened. Poor fellow's been like that for thousands of years. We were only cursed for a few minutes. I'm so sorry, Prince Ali. I didn't mean to get your hopes up. There's no need to apologize. I was rather expecting this to happen. I do not believe my curse will be lifted while Apep draws breath. He is doubtless using his own foul magic to strengthen its hold. Well, then it's pretty obvious what we need to do, ain't it? Mr. Drippy, there's only one thing left for it. Sure. Surely not. Surely you're not going to try and defeat Apep. That would be unspeakably reckless. I shall assist you. I must. No, you can't fight him, Prince Ali. Not in your condition. Don't worry, Prince Ali. You can count on us. We'll defeat Apep and lift your curse. I believe you. Something about you makes me believe. Apep lurks deep within these ruins. I shall take you to him. So, yeah, cutscene for really no reason. And we're going to walk in here and see another cutscene. Perhaps a key is required to open the door, but there are no keys in the ruins, I'm sure. However, there was something written on the walls of my cell. I wonder if there is any clue. Two firm friends playing leapfrog all across the floor. There was more as well, I'm sure. Perhaps understanding those words is the key to opening the door. So am I supposed to go down here and get more of a hint, or? Two firm friends playing leapfrog across the floor. Each one gamely going where the other was before. Going where the other one was before. That kind of seems pretty easy. This spell is the A with the shape in it, so we just need to find the same pattern, and then we'll know exactly what we're supposed to do. It's puppet strings. Right. So what I don't see here is yeah, I guess the statues are here. See. I don't think I'm supposed to jump out. So the answer probably is in another button. Yeah, up and down to select the statues. Hmm. But if this was going to play leapfrog, where each one is going where the other one was before, then that's either got to be these two. Hmm. There's no extra statues over here. Hmm. We've got some. Maybe I just am supposed to put them back where they were. Hmm. Yeah, it may very well just be something that simplistic, is that you're matching the patterns of on the face of the base like that. That's incredibly simplistic for a puzzle. And this game could use more complicated puzzles to be in line with the amount of grinding and just other elements. This still is locked, however, so I guess that implies now we have to go other places. Hmm. You don't jump down. There's nothing over here, even though it definitely feels like there would have been room for something over here. We'll go ahead and shoot this. Storm Serpent Scales are probably worth equipping. Let's see. Trick type intensified. Hmm. If I was going to give that to anybody, I would give it to this guy. He has trick shots. I guess you probably want to give it to something else. Like this, though. Hmm. Yeah, probably not that big of a deal. Still cannot open these. So we really are going to end up just going through every bit of the game that we've seen so far. We're going to have to come back and revisit. Um, this is interesting because you levitate over this, and then we've got a spring lock. So we're doing two spells in a row. We now have the serpent key. Hmm. Which is that the only serpent key we need, or is that just one? Levitating ends and then starts again when you have to jump on the areas. Making sure I'm not missing anything on the hidden behind a wall or a column. Green man's cloak. Which that too is probably something we should consider equipping. Let's see. Less defense. I have 44 defense right now. And evade attacks. So that's probably not one worth equipping. This guy can't wear the same kind of equipment. Oh, the system is really bad. As far as the icons telling you what you should wear and what you shouldn't. Okay, massive evasion, massive increase in defense. We found it. But there is a possibility that some other creature we have would also benefit from moving around equipment. Although in all fairness, none of it really matters. I've yet to feel like improving the armor has actually improved my experience. I don't think we had just walked in this area, so the map didn't clear. So now the map is better shown. And I guess it's slightly beneficial to have your map exposed like that in the first run, so if we do come back to these areas, we won't get lost. The amount of time I'll want to spend in this dungeon later on will be very, very small. And yeah, we've used a little bit of magic, but that's about it. So it's asking if I'm ready. They're all saying cover your eyes with the symbols. Like all these statues have their eyes covered. I don't know if there's a real way I could do that. Can you cause blindness on your own character? So I assume that's the first stone. We've got voice acting again. So can we do anything right now? All out attack, arrow of light, does 94, and he's weak to it, so we know what to do. Good. Just prepare. Death rattle. You know what? I should have cast the increased defense spell. Yet flipping hate snakes. Make sure that slimy so and so doesn't come anywhere near me. Ollie boy, I'll faint. Me and my phobias weigh me down. They do. Oi, there's an idea. Pop something heavy on top of it and it'll soon stop slithering. Use magic if you have to. Alright, so it's telling me to do burden on him. Come on, all out attack, and all out attack again. As like the absolute worst thing to do. Hmm. 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 Alright. Burden, and then all out attack. And then spell it. I'm gonna have to eat some provisions. And almost certainly we'll want to use a fairly big coffee. Probably not espresso since we don't have that, so we'll do a cappuccino. Hmm. Hmm. That's not what I meant to do. Hmm. 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 Like he's cursing you, but he's not really. Like he's not really damaging you. Hmm. 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 And see, this should be like a fairly big boss fight that's happening right now. He shouldn't just have one attack and one attack only. Um, hmm, um, it seems odd that there's such a kind of focus here only on doing death rattle. Hmm. Like this is the first time I've even seen him do a different attack. Hmm. 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 Yeah, what we're not seeing here, however, is uh, a real like increase in showstopper spells or showstopper orbs when that should be more common. Mm. Yeah, it would definitely be a hard decision to make, but I could see myself really wanting to eliminate half of the monsters, half of the familiars, half of their attacks, and taking the those attacks and putting them in the hands of a character like Apep and the bosses, where it is just going to be more interesting and more varied. Because the average grindy fights are not going to go on this long. They're just not going to have that much attack or health points uh, for it to go on that long. I guess maybe because he's not getting really close to me, that might be another thing to consider. Is that if I was closer to him, he may very well have um, attacked in different ways. But he's not even trying to get close to me. He's getting pulled away by the other characters way more than other fights we've had. The dragon fight by far was way more difficult than that. Now, arguably, they knew that the dragon fight was going to be in a certain spot, and this battle could be in one of three spots since there are three bosses and three temples in parallel. But still, these three are after the dragon fight, so that they should have been as difficult as the dragon fight. We got some major level ups there, and decent amount of gold and decent amount of experience. Mm. Mm. What'll be really frustrating is if all of a sudden Mighty being unlocked to the top level, he hits something like level 60, level 70, level 80, and then that's just a max level, and we're nowhere close towards the end of the game. Because I doubt this game is going to have some kind of prestige system or anything like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they make you cast some spell or something to put the orb into your wand. Is there going to be any voice acting in this, or is this just sound effects? Nope, they cheaped out. We've obtained the Moonstone, and making yourself go blind had nothing to do with it. Like, it definitely felt like there should have been a trick there where you could have cast blindness on yourself if that was a spell, which it isn't. And then all of a sudden, you would be immune to half of his attacks. This is it, one of the Morning Star's magic stones. So that slimy Apep had it all along, did he? Good work, Ollie boy. I'm speechless. I can scarcely believe that Apep has been defeated, and yet... Ugh. Prince Ali. Is this... It's the curse. The curse is lifting. Mm-hmm. So we have yet another character. Ugh, I'm Prince Ali. Wow, it's a miracle. He's human again after all these years. It seems I've returned to normal. Let's take a moment to take a break here. Prince Ali might not be a terrible potential romantic interest for Esther. Esther being the only female character really in the story besides the mom. But then you run into the age problem, even worse than Swain, uh, in that Prince Ali has been alive as a frog for thousands of years. Plus, he already had someone he was in love with. So I imagine what we're going to find is that the rainbow frog is actually the princess. And then those two are going to go off and we'll never see him again. Too right, you have. So what are you looking so glum for? Though I am human once more, my kingdom is not but ruins, and she is long gone. Our story has already become a fairy tale. Everyone knows how it ends. But your highness. Ribbit? You're the frog who we saw before. Where have you been all this time? A frog? Hmm. You know, this frog helped us back when we were cursed. In fact, he led us straight to you. It led us straight to you. Truly, how very... Huh? Hmm. What the heck? Where the heck did she come from? Surely not. Surely this is impossible. Yasmina. My beautiful princess Yasmina. Huh? Huh? Ellie, I have been waiting for you. Waiting for so long. And I was a frog as well, just like you. In this... Is this a dream? Are you really? But how? Hang on a moment. So the colorful frog we saw was actually a princess. I think I'm gonna cry. I drank the same potion as you, although oddly she didn't turn into a half human, half frog like him. The potion that changed you into a frog, the one that cursed you. I thought if we were cursed as well, then you would not be alone. You did this for me? I always believed that we would meet again, Allie. I knew that your curse would be lifted one day. I had to only to wait and wait. Yasmina, Allie. And you don't see them holding hands or kissing or anything like that because this is a kid's narrative and a non-kid's game. And they do go back to Alma Moon, so whatever the previous Alma Moon kingdom was like, it was rebuilt. Thank you from the bottom of the heart. You need to not worry about us anymore. We are together again, and that is all that matters. Yes, we have finally be able to spend our lives together just as we always wished. But where are you going to go? I didn't want to mention it, but your kingdom, well, it ain't what it was. Seen better days and all that. That is true, though this is also a magnificent city in its own right. I feel sure that we can make it our home. Indeed, it is a fine city, and we should not dwell on the past. We should think about what we can contribute to the world today. Hee hee. Have you ever considered becoming a banana merchant? My father really enjoys it, and the free bananas are a real bonus. Bananas? What are they? Alright, I suppose they didn't have bananas back in your day. You should really try one, Your Highness. They're delicious. That sounds wonderful. I cannot wait to taste my first banana. Wait, are they saying banana or babana? I think they're saying babana. They have been misspelling other words, and I guess maybe subconsciously throughout over what feels like 40 hours of gameplay, I have not recognized that they've been misspelling banana. Hey, it's nice to see you smiling. You're really lucky to have been given a second chance at happiness. Don't let it slip away. Swain's right. We have waited thousands of years for this moment. Indeed, and it is thanks to you that it has finally arrived. Now, of course, the problem with telling a story that has backstory characters from thousands of years ago, there is less likelihood, certainly, of a prequel for Ni no Kuni ever to be made. If it is going to be made, they're going to have to bring back these characters and then curse them to the same fate of waiting thousands of years to be reunited. Esther, I think you'd better change the ending of that fairy tale. Oh, yes, absolutely. He. And what will the new ending be? Let me think. Please wait. Don't be so hasty in writing the ending of our story, I beseech you. Yeah, I suppose the fairy tale isn't over yet, is it? Certainly not. Indeed, I feel that it is. To be continued. Hee hee. It's almost like the game itself is teasing that they are gonna bring in these characters in a sequel. Haha. Which, at a certain point, I suspect they did plan on making a Ni no Kuni 2, regardless of whether Ni no Kuni 1 sold very well or not. That is pretty typical in game development, particularly when you're talking big budget titles or big ambitious titles. Of course, games still can be canceled before their sequels come out, and they can end on cliffhangers. Right, let's get a move on, Shell. I reckon the happy couple might want some time alone. Oh, of course. Huh? Why? Says Oliver. You got a lot to learn, Ollie boy. You really have. Anyway, that's quite enough talk. Let's get walking. We've got things to do. Hmm. Interesting. Fast travel to Alma Moon just to leave. Yes, we should go. I'm sure we'll be seeing the fairy tale couple again soon anyway. It frankly almost feels like that would have been a good place just to end the game completely. The unswerving loyalty of two loving hearts has unlocked a story in The Wizard's Companion. The Bear Man and the Princess's Tears. So it's a different story instead of just the same story. Arguably, it probably should be the same story. It makes a lot of sense to start by just going in here. And we're looking for a place to regain our magic, which is probably just easiest to sleep. Didn't really expect these people to be here, but whatever. Talking to them doesn't do anything. 20 gold is nothing when you have 25,000. And it's not really giving us the equipment that we need. That's the big problem. Certainly is I need to go to a shop that would give me a bunch of ingredients, which wouldn't be this shop per se. It would be not really this shop either. It would be this shop, and I bet this shop is not being the second one that we found. I bet that doesn't have anything we need. And as far as prices were supposed to be cheaper. I'm not really seeing a big decrease in prices here. Yeah, bananas. That's, if we could buy 10 of those for all I care. We'll buy some stuff here, but I don't want to waste a lot of gold. And there's nothing else on this map that to talk about. And nobody else to talk to, nobody else to really engage with. I don't think there's a point here where we need to own one of every weapon, even if it is an ingredient weapon. So, the thing to ask is this morning star. Can we mix and match the morning star with other items? The morning star with this. No. Can we really craft anything? Nope, not a single thing. We can make a shadow glass scale with the jade marble, which is not what I want to do at the moment. So we've gotten, that's way too much, this moonstone, but we can't merge it, so we won't get any power upgrade, it seems, until we have all the stones. Unless there was... It's funny you can't just cast Rejuvenate on the Morning Star. Yeah. So yeah, there's nothing more to do. It's now time to just fly one way or the other, and since we've already kind of seen the right side and we haven't visited this Wintervale area at all, we should check it. So you have an island here. It doesn't seem like there's anything to it there. We didn't end up learning how to swim, which for a brief second there it felt like we might get a swimming ability, but that doesn't really make the most sense. I think the characters are shivering. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. As far as this little island, it doesn't seem like there's any caves or anything here. I'm not really seeing any glowing things. I didn't even really see monsters. So it might be a case that this whole winter area is where familiars are not likely to tread. Hmm. I guess I have to kind of fly out down this way to see if there's something under the ice. There might be something there, but I bet I can't access it yet. It definitely feels like a whole lot of nothing. Pretty big island area to have nothing happening. Hmm. Snowflake. And there's a village here. So can we walk around and get to this village? Or am I going to have to fly back up? Alright, we're starting to see some snow-like creatures as far as familiars. I bet they're pretty high, and this is going to be a new city, I think, of Yule. Gates lock. Seems we can't get in unless there's an interest on the other side. Come on, Oliver, let's have a look. Hmm. Yeah, I think it is easier just to fly up and then come down and fly down. Hmm. But that definitely feels like a cheat. And that definitely feels like something that's just going to keep on being used like a cheat. Now, as far as the trailer, this is basically the last thing in the trailer that plays on the main menu that we haven't seen is these snowman creatures. Uh, which, yeah, that implies to me that maybe there's one more city and there's probably a few more temples. But after that, the game feels like it's done. And I don't know how any of that like connects to the idea of gambling in the skull skeleton casinos that most people probably at this point have forgotten about, or how this is going to connect to giving you enough reason to try and capture all of the characters and level them up, or even level up a decent amount of them. I don't even think my main 9 characters are likely to all get to max level evolution at this rate. Wow, this place is amazing. It sure is. Look at the lights coming through the snow. It's beautiful. And look at all these big fluffy things. I've never seen one before. What are they? They're called tomtees, ain't it? You only get them by here in the winter isles. Everywhere else, it's too warm for them. I don't know what they're talking about. Whether they're talking about the um, creatures or if they're talking about snow. Really? Wow, they're so cute. Yeah, they're lovely. But can we talk about this inside? I think I can feel my blood turning to ice. I'll second that emotion. Freezing my bits off, I am. Brr. So everybody is shivering. Alright. We've got a lot of people, we've got shops, and we've got quests. And we'll pretend like we're talking to everybody. Okay, what's this task? Hmm. 3 examples of the climate of Winter Isles affects the psychological development of indigenous creatures. First travels atop a blue flower. Second, a proud creature that's found its niche in the glittering grotto and piles of snow. Third has piles of snow on its head. Alright. We'll try and remember that and try and capture characters. Hmm. Hmm. I don't think I have any familiars even to drop off at the moment. So it does seem like these tomtees, if that's what they are capable of speech without using nature's tongue on them. Interesting. These feel like doors. I guess these are doors. They have handles on them. We have to stay in each place once. It's kind of a terrible time to stay, but money is basically no object. We get another piece of our companions book, a wizard's companion, because of that. Mm. 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 Okay, that is that. This lady needs something. Mm. She wants a snazzy swimsuit. Hmm. Interesting. So we have to go back to Castaway Cove. Hmm. This door doesn't open. Hmm. Hmm. They do seem like they are uh, fairly varied in their appearance and height, these tomtees. Hmm. Right, we got some belief. Hmm. Let's go in here. Look around, see if there's anything special to be found. If the um hmm. Oh, hello there. You're being Oliver, yes? Crikey. There you were with Tom T's for buddies, and you never told us. That's secretive, you are. No, I don't know. Who are you? How do you know my name? I'm learning it from my teacher, yes? She is being your biggest fan. Your teacher? My teacher. She is coming to the village to study the ancient archaeology. I am being her pupil, yes? Hello to you. I am being Aki. You're studying archaeology, but you're a snow person. Yes, a Tom T. Yes, I am being Aki. Hello there, Aki. Perhaps you'd like to introduce me to your new friends. Professor Tabata. I don't know if we've ever met this character. Oh, teacher, hello to you. You are being very late. Yes. Oh, my. Oliver. Goodness. This is such a privilege. Imagine the great wizard Oliver coming all the way here to this frozen corner of the world. Oh, but how perfectly rude of me. I must introduce myself. So we haven't met this Tabata either. I'm researcher and professor. I've been reading all about your exploits in the Daily Yarn. You're quite the news personality. The Daily Yarn, eh? That's how you Grimlikins learn what's going on in the world, ain't it? Well, aren't you an acknowledgeable little thing? Yes, the Daily Yarn is the premier news provider for Grimlakin across the world. And lately we've all been glued on the tales of your adventure. Gee, that's... Thank you, ma'am. That's kind of embarrassing, but thanks. What perfect nonsense. Embarrassing, don't be silly. You're a hero. And by the way, I have something to tell you. You're here in search of one of the magical stones to help restore the wand to its former glory, aren't you? How did you? Yes, that's exactly why we're here. Then you're in luck. I'm professor of archaeology, you see. I'm going to tell you everything I know about the Morning Star. Crikey. What are the chances of that, eh? There's a turn up for the books. Yeah, not at all. Now, according to my research, Morningstar was fashioned by none other than the Wizard King himself, and just per to settle down his eternal slumber. Just prior to settling down to his eternal slumber, he divided the incredible power of the wand and sealed it inside three magic stones. The stones were entrusted to his most faithful followers in order to prevent the wand's power from falling into the wrong hands. His most faithful followers, huh? Do you think the creature we fought on the Tombstone Trail could have been one of them? Now, concentrate. Prepare yourself for the most important part of what I have to tell you. If my theory is correct, one of those followers, and the stone they were entrusted to, is in a cave beyond the village known as Glittering Grotto. Bingo, that must be where the map of the stones was pointing us to. Yeah, the map of the stones, you mean you knew precisely where it was already? So I haven't helped you at all. How inexpressibly disappointing. No, that's not true. We didn't know anything about the Wizard King or his followers, or any of that stuff. Thank you, Professor. Professor Tabitha, what kind of place is the Glittering Grotto? Oh, well, as I mentioned, it's a cave just beyond Yule. The cave marked on ancient maps as Maw of the Mountain King. My my theory is that the Mountain King and the Wizard King are the one and the same. Anyway, the cave has power to suck objects into its dark depths. All of which leads me to theorize that one of the Wizard King's magic stones may be hidden in the deepest part of the grotto. Uh-oh, I've got a funny feeling about this. Yes, I'm sure you have. You great big wimp. It's called terror. No, it's not. Shut up. It's intrepidness and excitement. Before you go rushing off in pursuit of the stones, you'll need the permission of the village elder to enter the glittering grotto. The village elder, precisely. But he's away gathering the elders. At a gathering of the elders at the moment. You have to wait until tomorrow to meet him. I was hoping to be able to accommodate you at my home, but I'm afraid there's not enough room to swing a cat. It's okay. You've done more than enough for us already. Thank you so much, Professor Tabitha. Don't be silly. It's me who should be thanking you. It's not every day you can provide a renowned hero with help on his legendary quest. There should be room at the inn just inside the village. I wish you a perfectly wonderful night's rest. See, now this sucks because I already spent the money um, to um, sleep in the hotel, and if I'm going to have to spend another night in the hotel, that's a waste. Okay, add a bunch of errands there. We have a new bounty hunt we can grab. Oh, we have not lowered the prices in the shops yet. We instead chose to lower the price of continuing. And honestly, I don't know if I have enough quests to get to lower the prices in the shops. I should just spend the money though, anyways. I'm sitting on a lot of gold right now. This is the one that wanted the swimsuit. Yeah, we have a peddler. Which, yeah, these prices do not feel like they have gone down at all. It was 500 for a phoenix feather before. It's phoenix 500 still. 8,000 for a better weapon. I'm gonna go through a lot of trouble here. really does feel like if you're going to increase the defense of a character, then the combined defense should be what turns out to be the handler's defense. So for each of their three characters, if each one of them have about 100 defense, then Oliver um, should have 300 defense. Instead of that being a separate metric, I'm just out of money at this point. So that did not happen. Went extremely quickly. I asked by about 10 snow radishes, since that seems to be a unique thing. And we'll buy 3 caramels. Hmm. Hmm. I'm hoping that I actually have quite a bit of items that are sellable once we really start to sell weapons. Hmm. And we have quite a sharp contrast in clothing here, as honestly I think they maybe are getting a little bit more realistic or just lazy, and they just have all the characters now covered head to toe compared to say Castaway Code where everybody's wearing swimsuits. Um, so restraint I do have, so I can just give it to him. Hmm. I suppose it would be very strange to come out to this icy place and have them in like fur bikinis, but I really wouldn't put anything past the game. Hmm. It almost certainly would have been smarter just to have all the characters everywhere wear about the same clothing and just say that there's magic that's warming up the place or cooling down the place. Um, hmm, hmm. It's odd, like breathing outward, shivering sound effect that they've added. Just kind of unnecessary. Hmm, hmm, hmm. All right. We'll take some kindness, which we know there's somebody in Ding Dong Dell that needs kindness. I kind of feel like we may very well be close to being done with all of the taking heart and giving heart missions. Even though there are 2 pieces of heart, we still haven't even unlocked. Hmm. 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 Yeah, there's value in at least talking to every character once. Hmm. 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 Courage. Hmm. There would also certainly be a value in they could have just eliminated other kid characters and it could have just been Oliver as the only kid in the story dealing with other adults, that wouldn't be too odd. And that would have saved you in having to animate kid models and all of that. There's a treasure chest up there. I didn't even see it. But it makes sense that there would be something there. All right. This one has a baby and a papoose behind her. Give heart. Take heart. Yeah. So the only thing we don't have is like belief, I think. So this guy wants me to capture some people. The other one wants us to go to a swimsuit. They wanted me to sleep at the hotel. I think it's probably better to just fast travel. We'll go to Castaway Cove and see if there's a person to talk to. Is this the person we're supposed to be talking to? I suppose it isn't that much work to have characters in swimsuits to start with and then make them just put more clothing over them. Flown to the west. So Seagull stole the snazzy swimsuit. Let's go do the things at Ding Dong Dell. So that was, I guess, a narrative, long-running story, or quest line. It's just that there's been far too much of a break between the point where we had to collect the components to make a snazzy swimsuit and then what was probably close to 20 hours later when somebody in a completely different city asks for a snazzy swimsuit. Now that we've finally filled out our items from this new city as far as pieces of heart, we can go back to like Hamlin. What's going to be a shame is if it turns out I can do all these quests and it does get me to the point where I would have lowered the prices on things. There are... Let's see, can we vacate? Nope. There are some bounty hunts, I think, around that I could try and find and do. This may be a waste of time. But yeah, you could have easily had all the characters just wearing these Hamelin clothing. Maybe not quite so fat, bloated. Hmm. Hmm. So this was the quest of defeating the pirates. Hmm. 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 We should consider if we can equip the pirate's cutlass and whether that would increase our attack or not. Hmm. Accuracy would go way up. Should consider other people with swords and see if they have anything better. Hmm. Yeah, it is totally possible that there's better equipment. But then I also suspect there might just be top tier equipment. This guy's accuracy could go up for. Hmm. This could do more damage. Although my character already kind of does. This character kind of already does enough damage. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. So you definitely have a problem here where you are more often than not looking at all this equipment and not even changing anything. You're just wasting your time. There's not enough variety in it, which at a certain level, you could probably just strip out the idea of each familiar having different equipment and remove that completely and just have Oliver, Esther, and Swain have different equipment and all of the alchemy and forging simply be focused on making better equipment for the humans instead of the familiars. Um, I think that would streamline this game quite a bit. You could also then more focus on the people that have um, more focus on the feeding aspect. Yeah, which is something that I'm not really doing too much of at the moment. Is really not uh, going to great lengths to feed and increase familiarity in the characters. Hmm. 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 Give them some confidence. Hmm. Honestly, it would make more sense if for every boss or sub boss you fought, you got a piece of heart then, and all the monsters that you were fighting effectively were being powered by pieces of heart. And so every time you fought somebody, that would be the only point at which you would get a piece of heart, and that would be a big, impactful, connected to the main storyline reason why you would then give heart back. um, Instead of connecting basically NPCs to other NPCs. Hmm. Right, so we would have to do one more thing, I think, at least, if not two, a whole bunch more than one more thing. Hmm. Okay. Yule, Paradita, Golden Grove, Smoky Tombstone Trail, Vault of Tears. Okay. Let's go back to Ding Dong Dell. And let's investigate some things. Snowdrop bonbons are better than chocolate bonbons. Handfuls of chocolate bonbons, which I don't know what a handful of chocolate bonbons means, but I would assume that that's just chocolate bonbons. Handful of caramels and snow. Fruit flan. Patty cake, which this would use a power stone. That really seems like that is really a bad idea. In fact, most of these, now that you can craft them, the ingredients required do really feel like terrible ideas. Until we start to see items just drop. That would be the thing that would have to happen. We've unlocked quite a bit of items, actually. Like, if we started to get a lot of this stuff as drops to the point where we're just overwhelmed with having extra, at that point it might make some sense to start crafting some of this, but right now it does not. Right. Let's see. Southeast of Yule, there's a cave that needs to be investigated. We still didn't find a gust plume. Seagull west of Castaway Cove. And then the creatures that were asked for. We don't have the ingredients to do the Forest Alchemist. Wanted to investigate these. On some cliffs south of Hamlin and Automalia is a lightning bolt. We should try that. In western Summerlands, there is a near Russet Island. It's a sea creature. We probably need to be in a boat there. Billy Goat's Bluff. So a lot of these are in Autumnalia. Swan Island north of the Summerlands. North Winter Islands is Sleigh Bell Isles. Okay. I think I've got it as to where we should go. Should fly totally north here. And one of these isles, there's going to be a monster. And my hope is that we can kind of see the monster even when we're flying. But we may not have so much luck. I can't pull out the map until I've landed, so let's see. If we did this, regions of the world, some lands north. You have a lot of things that are pointed here, but kind of nothing. What are these little lock symbols, though? They're all over the map. I don't know if those are supposed to be creatures or if those are specific places that we're going to have to visit later, or if those are caves. It seems like a lot of caves. And then, yeah, all the places that are being mentioned don't seem to be on the map at all. It's weird. And that's like a tree, and that's like a lock. Alright, well. Then we'll just wander around the forests here and see if that means anything. See if we find any forest people on this island, or I don't think there's a way to call the boat. It's supposed to just be there, if it's going to be there. Interesting how the cloud is just moving in. Like one character on the entire island. They don't really feel like very strong characters. Hmm. It might be like the only place where you can get another Drongo if we're trying to capture a Drongo. This probably isn't the absolute worst time to think about evolving somebody. If we've got somebody to evolve. Nope, we don't. If you're on the map, it is marked as a lock. Spring lock didn't work. Nearby chests are now available on the map. Interesting. Well, I figured something out. Now visible on the mini map. Oh, so there are straight up invisible chests. And Seek Fortune does not have anything to do with that rock. Ooh. So this whole world is kind of a lie. I mean, I don't know how else you you describe it. It's full on trickery. Hmm. So we've had that spell, although really no indication that that's what we were supposed to be doing with it. I bet that's the guy we're supposed to bounty hunt. So that'll get us a little bit of rewards, but it's not going to get us a lot. I want to open it first. Hmm. So we're going to do this. All out attack, spell, arrow of light. Spell, ward. And then spell, burden. And then spell, arrow of light. Oddly, it's arrow of light feels like it's affecting him, but it's not affecting him as much as I would like it to. He seems to be able to move around a lot for a very small area. Hmm. 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 I'm out of things, so we'll just attack and see how much damage he does in every attack. Not really that much. Hmm. 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 Not a lot of XP or gold from that, but it finishes the bounty hunt. This game is deceptive in its map way more than it should be. Like, because there's secret things we know about in forests, although we don't really know where all of them are. Or, uh, there's secret chests all over the place that we didn't know about. We will go ahead and serenade this guy. Why not? Hmm. 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 I don't even think she's hitting it. She's doing pathetically small amounts of damage. Single damage on it. Must be just really resilient to the... And it's far too slow to play as her. Meanwhile, while I'm playing, Oliver is wasting his magic points. She needs to just send out a character. Hmm. It's not inherently wrong to have a character that is so weak they need familiars, particularly if they're a familiar trainer. Hmm. Alright. So what I guess I want to do is get Seek Fortune and then up we go. And then we fly in the mini map to try and figure out. That's something. Certainly. I assume we cannot land on that. But that is, I guess, where the other stone is. And I suspect that this is... I don't know if I can land anywhere. Anything called Billy Goat's Trail is probably a challenge. Yeah, and I may very well run into a character here that is going to be a really big challenge. I've never seen this before. Let's go ahead and assume we're going to need to cast some spells. And then spells. I don't think... this is a weird position where I probably should be using my other guy. I need to run. Let's see. These guys seem to want to move quite a bit. One down. My guy is tired. And then Swain. Just put out his skeleton guy. They seem to have a pretty high defense. They're not taking a lot of damage there from the skeleton guy. That might be because they're angel type and the skeleton is more demonic dark type. That was an odd bounty hunt, though. I wasn't expecting to fight a bunch of people. I wasn't expecting it. Right. Come on, treasure chest. Pouch of phoenix breath. So when you're up flying, it doesn't seem like the mini map is going to show you the things you could collect or the treasure chests. So you'd have to kind of land. See what other bounty hunts we still have left. Northern Winter Isles, Western Summerlands, the sea creature, some cliffs south of Hamlin. Yeah, that's one last one we can do. Meanwhile, as long as our spell is still working. We're on some cliffs south of Hamlin, but I guess this is the wrong cliffs. I think it's probably a case that they mean really south. Like over here. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. We will again go with spells. Don't have any magic in the first place. Doesn't seem like it matters too much though. I think we can just I think this guy's going to be weak enough that we can just kill him without having to cast any spells on him. We probably should have hunted that one a lot earlier. We keep learning these new spells and I keep not spending the time to actually do anything with them. So at that level, I guess we cast a spell to travel, or we don't even really need to cast a spell to travel. Let's just fly. They said a seagull took the swimsuit from Castaway Cove, which is right about there, I believe. And they took it west. Let's land here. Let's see if we can find anything here. So whenever we see a map with a tree, then we potentially have natives. Of course, I can't open this. So they're all talking about this cold water. And I don't see any secret treasure chests, like green ones. I kind of would have a hard time believing that there would be more. They don't seem to be saying anything. Yeah, so at some point we'll come back to this place and this will be important, but at the moment seems like there's nothing to this. Statue of bird. Yep, it definitely feels like there's just more secrets. Secrets abound, secrets to be found. Hmm. Hmm. I see something over here, so I'm wondering if that's the seagull. That might be the seagull. Over there on the edge, actually. Yeah, and anywhere I go now, Seek Fortune should just be cast by default. Don't have enough magic for it. Nor do I care to drink a potion to regain magic just to do that. I may have no choice though, because I may need to use Nature's Tongue. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So I have to drink a coffee of some sort. So it should be the cheapest one, which is still not particularly that cheap. To then be able to use Nature's Tongue. Hmm. 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 And we'll pretend like we're reading this. We now have the snazzy swimsuit. Hmm. And since we're here, we might as well cast Seek Fortune. And we'll end up immediately in a fight, which may cancel out Seek Fortune. Hmm. Hmm. I don't get why these creatures don't always just target the closest person. That seems insanely weird. Hmm. Well, there's Oliver, down for the count. Swain not looking much better. Hmm. 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 So this is the first time we've died um, since we allegedly reduced the penalty for dying. Let's see what it is. 5% of your money instead of 10%. It's better than nothing. It's not great, but 5% certainly can still be quite a bit. And now that we are full health, Seek Fortune makes sense. I guess the question is going to come about as to, darn it, did not mean to run into that character again. Um, Like, will these chests perhaps refill? And if they don't, would I get better rewards if I didn't empty them now? I bet the chests, the secret chests that we now know exist, were in front of a lot of the caves in the Hamlin area, and that's why every time I was just double tapping A in front of that area, something I was finding things, or a lot of times I was finding things. So these may be the 100 secret chests throughout the game that the compendium was talking about. Hmm. Yeah, we can kind of confirm with that. Let's see. Progress report 8 hidden treasure chests found out of 100. Yeah. So we totally know that that's what those are. Hmm. Hmm. Do I have anywhere else to fly or fly around to? I don't think I really do. There's supposed to be a sea monster somewhere as far as a hunt goes. But I think if I turn in all of the hunts, this is just all covered in fog, so it definitely feels like this is an area you can't access, and there's probably a whole city in that area. Yeah, you just are gonna have to land everywhere. See if Seek Fortune is still enabled. Hmm. Nobody really wants to fight me anymore. And if I could just jump down, it would be nicer, certainly. Pirate Cutlass. Um, Probably should be fighting these characters because I think the. Nope. These aren't particularly important characters to fight. Hmm. But we should try and capture them anyways because they do feel like they might be third tier um, evolutions in the snow format instead of completely separate variants that would evolve to different evolutions. Hmm. 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 Still pretty exhausting doing all these fights and particularly not getting much from it. A little bit of XP, a little bit of gold, and single item drop. I may have even seen some frame stuttering, which that's something I definitely don't need to start seeing in that last fight, but I may very well have just blinked too. 1,000 guilders is not a lot. Hmm. Alright, so we come this way. Can I get to the city of Yule? Where if I land over here? Yeah, we'll just fly again if we can't. Hmm. I guess it is probably nicer that this game does have something in these empty spots instead of the game 100% being empty, because it was definitely feeling like we were getting to that point where there was nothing to be found. Teal wood. Guess we have to fight this guy. There's that lotus bub head is what we're looking to kill last. So that we can capture it. And we didn't kill it last. As far as I recall, the game never gave us any kind of system in which we could put people to sleep and increase the odds of capturing them. It seems like it is purely infatuation or randomness. Come on. Handful of chocolate bonbons. Is that a different item than chocolate bonbons? Chocolate bonbons. Yeah, it is just labeled as something different. Snowdrop bonbons. Take a handful of chocolate bonbons, a handful of caramels, and a snowflake. I don't know if that is smart to have crafted that, but we did it. In fact, I'm fairly certain it was not smart. That's weird. I was sworn there was a treasure chest up there. Yule. Like, alchemy must get cheaper. It kind of just has to. If it doesn't, then the game is incredibly cruel. Alright, so there's one there. There is one over there, too. Hmm. 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 So it's up higher. But then there's also a cave over here. This is just going to get crazier and crazier as we find more places that the map probably is already telling you about them. Hey, it's a ghostly girl, but not P. Gup. Dot 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 dot. Huh, this girl, is she? Certainly looks like it, Ollie boy. It's this. If in the spirit realm she is. If I had to take a guess, I feel like she wants to tell me something. What should I do, Mr. Trippy? Oh, you're joking, right? Do the same thing you always flipping do. Cast a spell and save the day, ain't it? Hopefully she doesn't end up making me answer some ridiculous question or quiz. Let's see, what is even this spell? Spirit medium? It's been so long. You can see me? Oh yes, yes indeed. So what's a young girl like you doing over by here anyways? Well, I'm worried about my Jabberguppy. We used to always be together, you see, ever since I was a little girl. But then one day we got caught up in an enormous blizzard while we were out playing, and well, this happened to me. Problem is, my Jabberguppy hasn't left my side since. I think he's scared. I'm really worried about him. He can't stay with me forever. But don't you want to be together? Oliver being very naive there. It's not about what I want. I'm dead. It's about what's right for him. He has to learn to survive on his own and get on with his life. Hey, maybe you could help. Would you mind toughening him up for me? It has to be done. So we're gonna fight him, I guess. Cracky, there's mature. Brings a tear to my eye. It does. I must be getting soft. Well, at least we can give you a hand, ain't it? We'll make your pal the most self-reliant Jabberguppy this side of Hamlin. Mark my words. Really? Oh, thank you. So, about you bring him back here when he's gone up another 10 levels? Alright, we'll see you then. So we want him to level up 10 levels. At level 30. Which I guess he'll get XP even if we don't fight with him. No, I don't know if that is exactly the case. I don't think that is the case because we had some characters. He'll get XP if we don't use them. So I can say swap him around with somebody, but he needs to be in the team. Spell, heal myself. Spell, ward everybody. I wonder if you just played as Esther, would that work? No, I don't think you could play just as Esther. Yeah, he does not. He's not coming off as a very useful character. We need to capture this Sasquatch. And we need to capture this Lotus Butt. And I question maybe if you can't capture anything if one character's down. But I don't know if that's really the case. This is not working particularly well. Switch to a different character. I wonder if there is maybe a rock, paper, scissors element to this that I'm not considering, where you would have to defeat a character with their opposite archetype to get a reward. Yeah, this is going to be a while. Well, the good news is that puts me in a decent position to go back to Yule. I think there's a treasure chest here. We might as well just make sure there's not anywhere else. There isn't one really close by. Yeah, I could run to the top left and get that one. And then now we have an excuse to go and use the... Is that not where it is? Seriously? Let's see if we can just run away. Running away, by the way, it doesn't seem like it punishes you in any way. So the treasure chest seems like it's on this upper platform, which I guess we can walk to it. Anywhere where there might have been something. And these frozen rivers don't strike me as something that will thaw out and be something you can't walk on. Although maybe that is going to happen. Maybe all the seasons change for each of the different places. Okay. We need to go here. And just see how many bounties we can turn in if we can get. So claim bounties for these 3. Lightning bolt. It's probably a pretty great weapon. See, I don't know why you get plus another as a bonus on some of these. So we now have enough to reduce the price. We'd only need one more to unlock that, which we're going to have to do anyways. As far as errands, we give this to the woman in Yule, and that's pretty much all we can do. But that might be enough to move us towards unlocking everything. Let's see, where's the woman? It'll be very funny if she actually puts on this swimsuit. Hmm. 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 Okay. So that gets us where we needed to be, which means we'll probably not really have a lot of reason to do any more quests for a while. Now, if we were going to use these quests as a marker of how far we are in the game, then we are 2/3 of the way done with the game. I question that, though. We need 4 more cards to unlock Jack of Hearts to improve your chances of befriending creatures and making them more familiars, which means basically at this point, until this point, you really shouldn't have tried to capture any familiars at all. Jack Amend All enables recovery health through walking. The more explore, the more you restore, which that's probably a great thing and very useful. Further increase the amount of experience gained through taking part in battle is almost certainly very useful. Reduce the amount of magical power required to perform spells, tricks, songs, and trick shots. That's going to be very useful. Terrify enemies even more, causing them to drop rare and valuable items. And then Jack the Giant Killer unlocks Oliver's full potential as a wizard and hero. And we don't really know what that is, but maybe you should go for that first. So, at first thought, I think you probably want this one. Increase the amount of experience. Then you want this one. Then this one. And then probably this one. And then I think you might even roll the dice and go for this one and grab Jack of Hearts last. But at least we now have an idea as far as where the skills are going to go. And what we're not seeing is a skill like swimming. We're not seeing skills like being able to jump further or run faster again or anything along those lines. So that leaves us in a decent position. Let's see. Now, item wise, we have a new sword that we got. There's a pirate cutlass. So, do we have anybody else that could use a pirate cutlass? This guy can definitely use this spear. Is that the one we really want to give the spear to, though? I guess it probably is. Hmm. Gonna have too many characters with too many weapons. 94, 97, 105. We might as well give this guy something. 70, 68, 120 versus 70, 123. A lot of this other stuff, though, I imagine we still don't really have that much to swap out or change. And if snowdrop bonbons are an ingredient, then we know we're not at the top tier of the levels there yet, so we shouldn't really feed it to him. I'm just really not in the mood to feed anything to anybody. I don't think we have any new formulas, but it is also going to get kind of crazy at this point. Like, if there is an actual formula starting at 001 going all the way down to 128 or more, that's going to be kind of crazy. But this game is kind of crazy, so I wouldn't really expect too much more. Phoenix Breath restores consciousness and HP to all allies. Ooh. So Phoenix Feather potentially could make Phoenix Breath, and that might give us something that's actually useful. Still a bunch of weapons. Almost feels like the game should just let you equip familiars that are in the refuge with armor if you're going to have extra armor. Seems like we're going to keep the serpent key for the rest of the game, which is not particularly atypical. As far as pieces of hearts, we still have 2 pieces of heart we haven't even discovered, so I wouldn't be surprised if we end up in a place where we get 1 new piece of heart and then it has us collect the whole collection of the other pieces of heart and do some quests there. And then we may get the last piece of heart actually as like the last aspect of the entire game. Like that may be the way it goes. Or I wouldn't even be surprised if you have to have all the pieces of heart and use them against the White Witch. As far as the Wizard's Companion, we were to come over and yeah, once again the right stick is not working. And now it's working again. We were to look at the pages that still have brown hidden from us. There are definitely spells. There are definitely items in the alchemy section. But then you pretty much have everything unlocked in the middle 4 rows. There's one thing missing here. And then the story sections are still missing some stuff. But it definitely seems like it's fairly unlocked for as slow as it has been to unlock things. And we have learned that the maps are actually way more descriptive, that each tree on the map is a secret native area to visit. Each lock is a secret treasure chest. So, yeah. We know exactly where to go to find things. This purple in the fairy ground is probably a cave. So, yeah. I could easily run around the entire world now, finding anything that I may have overlooked or missed. Yeah, purples are caves. So we don't have to run around looking for caves even. I'm not seeing any other symbols, which either means they don't exist or they are hidden behind some ability or something that we just don't have yet. Nevermore. I don't think we've actually been to Nevermore or the Miasma Marshes. Yeah. So there is a whole nother city that we haven't been to yet. Which that makes sense that there would be 2 more cities. But that does kind of make it seem fairly obvious that we are fairly close towards the end of the game. It's just weird that the game doesn't want to admit that. As far as species tamed, we've tamed 70 out of 120 that we've defeated. I question whether it would be reasonable, even if we do increase the odds of capturing somebody, that you would then run around trying to capture 50 more characters. But then you introduce the whole ticket system, and that might explain everything real quickly. Particularly if there is a ticket system and and some system that lets you level up characters a lot faster. Yeah. What's funny here is I just scrolled through all the characters and I was barely even paying attention to what they look like. The number of characters is based more on the number of archetypes, whereas if they had reduced the number of archetypes to just fire, water, and air, and gotten rid of light and dark, that would balance out a lot more. And effectively, it still feels like you're really only getting a small collection of fire type monsters anyways, maybe 3 fire type monsters in total that are really worth mentioning or looking at. And some of them I don't think you can capture, like this Mademoiselle and Madame. So it may be straight up just a lie that you can actually fight and capture each of them, because I don't think you really are going to be able to capture these boss creatures either. So 70 out of 162 defeated may be all of it. Like, it may be a lot closer to 100% completion there. Anyways, then as far as dangerous places, we've not cleared out some places, but we definitely have cleared out some others. Bolt of Tears, we'll have to go back and get a purple. Even though the percentage explored is at 100%. I guess percentage explored is the thing. I messed up on Old Smoky and Ding Dong Well, but I'll correct that when I go back. Those numbers are different. It's weird that it is saying the Wizard's Companion completion is only at 56%, because it definitely feels like it's higher. It definitely feels like we may spend a couple hours either all together or broken up looking for hidden treasures. I still need to figure out what that last question mark is. It's probably going to be something fairly big. As far as alchemy completion, that 13% I kind of assume is having alchemy formulas, not actually having to use the alchemy formulas to make something. As far as task completion, we're at 54%, which I'm surprised by that too. Creature companion completion is at 42%. So if that means roughly about 100 of the characters probably can be captured. Kind of feels like we're making progress, but it also kind of feels like we're not. Anyways, these episodes are consistently going over 2 hours. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.